Hi, Paul Fleck. It's Good News Planet. I'm speaking to Turk Pitkin. Hi, Turk. How are you?
I am doing great. How are you?
I'm real well. I'm doing good. Angels Sing and Ronald McDonald House Charities, a movie that you're involved with, and you're a former stand-up comic here, so I better watch out what I say. So,
I'm not sure my stand-up comic chops are all that good right now, so you're probably safe.
Okay, that's good. And then also you founded the Nobility Project, a global educational nonprofit that works with Nobel laureates and also other inspiring leaders to make enlightening and motivating films to raise awareness on global issues and move people to action. And we're going to talk about a film that you're working on, and it's coming out, and it's all good. It's called Angels Sing, and I've seen the trailer, and it's fantastic. So tell us about it.
Well, Angels Sing is a family Christmas movie, and it's that kind of movie everybody always says, I wish there were more like that. And it's based on a Christmas novel I wrote called When Angels Sing, and it's a story about a father and a family, but particularly about a father who's got a really hard time with Christmas, as it turns out for good reason, because of things that's happened and loss that he's had at Christmas in the past. And it's a very moving story. I've always had a lot of families. It's been out for a few years, and there's all these families at Christmas who contact me every year and say, "Can we read your book every year?" But now we have this beautiful movie that they can watch every year.
Well, give us you have a lot of wonderful people in it, and it's a good news movie, isn't it?
It is indeed, and the good news for me is I got this big cast, that great cast, that most of whom I really dreamed of having in this movie, even a lot of the parts when I was writing the book. But chief among those, Willie Nelson plays a guy named Nick, who may or may not be Saint Nick, and Harry Connick Jr. plays the dad, and Harry's really great in it, as is Willie, and Connie Britton, who is, I worked on the Friday Night Lights movie and television show with, plays Harry's wife, and Chris Christopherson plays the granddad, and then there's this other great cast of Austin musicians, Texas-based musicians, who are really amazing in a lot of these parts. So it's a great Christmas story. It also has a lot of great music.
And the music was written by?
The music, a lot of them are standards, and some of them are written by people in the film. But I mean, Willie and his sister Bobby, his piano player, they do Amazing Grace in a kind of a pivotal, emotional scene in a church with Harry Connick walks in and hears them playing, and Lyle Lovett and Kat Edmondson, really great new up and coming jazz singer, sing "Christmas Time Is Here," which is a real Christmas classic. And Chris Christopherson and Bruce Robeson and Charlie Sexton and a bunch of us sing the great Willie Nelson song "Pretty Paper," which is a very touching Christmas story. But there's probably 20 Christmas songs in the soundtrack, and they're all good.
Well, you also have a connection and an involvement with the Ronald McDonald Charities, and we just did our piece they signed in Times Square, and the Ronald McDonald Charities were part of that as well. They do a great job. So how'd that all come about?
Well, it came about, and thank you for asking. It came about because you had mentioned the Nobility Project, my nonprofit, and I think that the other producers were like, well, we could do this a charity component with a Christmas movie. You build schools, your organization builds schools for kids, but I really felt like it was more appropriate to do something with an organization who helps kids and families in need in this country, and who could do it at Christmas time. What better tie-in for the movie? And so they're a national partner. Their different chapters are having dedicated screenings of the film around the country, and they are also going to be profiting from DVDs and Blu-rays that sell through their sites. So it's kind of a full partnership.
Well, give me a little background on the Nobility Project as well, because obviously I've directed 3 award-winning feature documentaries, and tell me about the Nobility Project.
Thank you. We're online at nobility.org, and it's Nobel, Nobelity, like Nobel laureate. And we make feature films and short films about global issues, solutions in most cases, and so they are the good side, not the problem side necessarily. You got to identify the problem, and then you got to solve it. And we use the proceeds from our films to build partner projects around the world. We have 18 schools in Kenya, public schools, We are partnering with the Seva Foundation we're building an eyesight clinic in the Himalayas right now in Nepal. We have other projects in the U.S. and in Mexico and in Honduras. And our last film was called Building Hope, which is out there, and people can find that around Amazon and various other places. And Building Hope won the Audience Award at the South by Southwest Music Festival a couple of years ago, which is a hard thing to come by, that award. And it really is a very inspiring story. You know, when you look at what's going on, there's a film that film's set almost entirely in Kenya, and you look at the news that comes from Africa, and it's all bad news. And it's very depressing. And you know what makes it news is the fact that it's bad, that it's the aberration from the norm. But if you go over there and you meet the people who live there, there are people who are working very hard to overcome their problems, and sometimes they just need a helping hand along the way. And it's really not about charity. It's about partnering with these communities, and whatever the people in Kenya at those schools get out of this, certainly I get, or the people who support the Nobelty Project get just as much in return.
Yeah, that's the reality of being a do-gooder. You get more than you give, no matter how much you give. You see the results.
I've never met it. That's exactly right. I've never met anybody who got involved, whether it's our organization or anybody, Ronald McDonald House or any other group that's doing really great things in the world. I've never met anybody who did it and then went, wow, that just didn't feel very good. I don't think I'm going to do it anymore. If they work with an organization who spends their money wisely and who's able to connect them directly to the work where they really feel like they're a part of it, then their outcome is always good. And you know, that's the trick, is if you're gonna support a group, is to find a place where, in our case, we're filmmakers. So if somebody says we want to build a classroom, or we want to build a library, or we want to donate a book to the library, they can see the images, they can see the stills and the video of what actually comes from what they do, as opposed to just hearing about it. Where
since you wrote it and so involved with When Angels Sing, where's the good news there that will last for someone's lifetime, would you say?
Well, Angels Sing, the website is angelsingmovie.com, and there's links to the Ronald McDonald House Charities connection and screenings there as well. There's a list of the cities. We open this Friday in 15 cities around the country, and I'm going to be at the red carpet premiere in Austin, Texas with the great Willie Nelson. And but we're also opening in Atlanta and Indianapolis, Chicago, lots of other cities, and then in the weeks to come we open in more and more cities. And so people, it's easy for them to find us, and it's one of those things you can go to a movie theater and you can see it. You can see it in a community setting, which is a great way to see a feel-good movie.
Well, and what is one of the takeaways in the movie that you feel will inspire somebody, give somebody hope?
Well, Willie plays this character. I said that he may or may not be Saint Nick. His name is Nick, and he in the movie he sells a house to Harry Connick. His family desperately needs a place to live. They've lost their lease, so he sells this beautiful, incredible, dream house to this family for way too little money. It's kind of like a gift, but there's a condition, and he has to live up to the neighborhood standards. Well, as it turns out, the house is on a street where everybody celebrates Christmas in a huge way, and which is the hardest thing for Harry's character to do. And Nick becomes his confidant in some of the things that move ahead there. And I really love something that Willie says to Harry's character. He says, that Christmas is the thing that brings us together. It brings families together across generations, and it is one of the reasons that some people have a hard time at Christmas, because they think of someone they've lost that they love very much. But it really is the thing that ties one generation to the next over really a very long period of time. And you think about your own family's Christmas traditions, or your own family's Hanukkah traditions, or anything else related to the holidays. And to me, we live in a time where remembering what brings our families together and ties them together is maybe one of the most important things. And it's always nice to have a guy like Willie to point it out for us.
Yeah, I agree so wholeheartedly there. Let me ask you, I know you're talking to a lot of people, and congratulations once again. Let me ask one last question. So what's good news for you, sir?
it's funny. I played a character in The Sopranos. It's so funny that I played this character. I was Janice's boyfriend, and my line was, "What's the good?" People would say, "What's the good news?" And I would say, "He has risen." And that character in The Sopranos. But the good news for me is just that we are going to have a lot of families that are going to come see this movie together, and they're going to walk away with a smile on their face and a little dance in their step that they didn't have before, and it's hard to find things in life that'll do that. So I would say Merry Christmas to everybody, even if it is a little early.
There you go. Happy holidays to you, to family, friends, and thanks so much for taking a little time here to share your goodness. Take care, sir. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.